We all have loud thoughts, so many of them. The anxious ones, the sad ones, the angry ones, the ones that keep us stuck, small, and playing it safe. And then there are quieter ones, underneath it all. The one that nudges you, the one that knows. I'm Christina, a clairaudient angel messenger and angel Reiki master teacher. I hear the angels speaking to me in my own voice, and I'm here to help you do the inner work to hear yours. This is Awakening to Your Soul Self. Grab a cup of tea, get cozy, and let's cross the bridge together. Please note, I am not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional. Everything shared on this show comes from personal experience and spiritual guidance. If anything resonates deeply and you feel you need additional support, please reach out to a qualified professional.
My intention, because I'm about being mindful, if that's okay. My intention for
Yes.
today is to be authentic, to speak my truth, and help myself and others transform through the words that we're going to speak together today.
Beautiful. That is a perfect way to start the podcast. I'm going to keep that in there. Hello, lovely souls. Welcome back to the Awakening to Your Soul Self podcast. I have Lorilyn Alden here. She already started the podcast without even trying. I love it. She is a TEDx speaker, an author, certified yoga and sound healing practitioner, also the creator of chat communication systems. Her journey is amazing, and we're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about everything that she wants to talk about, whatever spirit's going to bring through. We've already been chatting for a few minutes, and I feel like this is going to be a really kind of juicy episode, not in like a gossipy way, but like in a beautiful, transformative way. Welcome, Lorilyn.
Thank you, Christina, for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yay! So, all my guests, I ask the same question to everybody.
Let's go.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself and share your spiritual awakening story, moment, journey. And if you don't have one, then just kind of give us kind of quick synopsis of where you are today.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. All right. I'll check in with you along the way.
Yes.
Let's see. I would say that my spiritual journey started back in 2000. 2000. I was selling Pampered Chef at the time. I met a young lady named Leanne Wilson, and she was the first coach I ever was introduced to. And she is more spiritual, metaphysical, psychic, intuitive. And she had this program that she introduced me to. And it was the first time I was being coached. I'd never heard of a coach. I didn't know a coach. And she encouraged me to read The Power of Now. So that was like the first book that started the rest of my work between 2000 and current.
Yeah.
That's how I got started.
Amazing.
Yeah. I did a program called Landmark Forum. I don't remember what year it was, maybe 2012, somewhere along there. And it was like a whole weekend where you go in a room and they challenge all of your limiting beliefs. Like it's head on. It's like, I called it self-help on speed, because it's like you're there for 12-hour days.
Right.
And I got very involved in that program. Went on to be to their advanced class and their leadership class all along the way, having these amazing aha moments, really stepping into my power. Then I discovered human design. Ooh, yeah. I love human design. I've been studying it for over a decade.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that human design has so many little rabbit holes that you can jump down and never come out of. And my current coach, I've had a couple of coaches in human design. The one that I've been with now, I've been with her for a few years, and she still challenges me. I'm still learning about myself. It's a work in progress. I really try to live in alignment with my design.
Yes.
Yeah. Easier
I've
said
been
than
trying to
done.
do the same thing.
Right, Christina? It's easier said than done.
Yes, it is.
What, just out of curiosity, what do you know what your type is? And
Yes, I'm a manifesting generator.
oh, you got the double whammy. Are you also
Mhm.
emotional?
Yes.
Oh, so you got a triple whammy. Okay.
Yeah.
For those for those of you who don't know, manifesting generators, they have to wait for something to respond to. They have to inform anybody who's going to be impacted by it. Then she
Yes.
also has the emotional authority, so she has to wait till she has emotional clarity to move forward with her yes. So I call that the triple whammy.
It definitely is. This year I kind of really I have a friend who is also a human design practitioner. I had a session with her, I believe a year ago, and she really walked me through her chart and she was like, you really need to like take time before making decisions and really understanding. So I've been really trying to tune into that and I've noticed a difference. Like I would feel something the first second and then like a couple of days later, oh, I feel differently about that.
Yes, that's called you reached your emotional clarity. Uh, to be clear, I'm not a human design coach. I just been studying it for a long time. I know a lot about it. I know enough to be dangerous. I always recommend people to the professionals if they want to know more than that. But I'm a generator 4-6 profile. So I am an opportunist and a role model. That is what and as a generator, you have to wait to respond. So you have to wait for things to come in, like how we met, right? The podcast sent me the podcast guest
Yep.
email featured you as one of the people I saw you were gut yes, I slept on it, and then I sent in and then we connected. So that's the correct way. Now, there have been times that I have forced things instead of
Yeah.
listening and waiting to respond and listening to my inner knowing, right? That gut yes for me and you as generators, we have a gut yes. And instead of that, I listened to the ego who told me I needed to do this. I should do this.
Yep.
And I do those things. And then I end up in a big mess, lots to clean up.
So
And
much work after that.
yeah, and some powerful some painful learning lessons that come from it. So yeah. So human design was one of the biggest tools in my healing journey. And then yoga teacher training was another one. Um, I had been going to yoga classes to slow down my mind. My mind was
Yep.
very catty. I started taking yoga classes and I kept having all these aha moments in the silence when I could actually hear my intuition, my higher self, whatever you want to
Yep.
call it. And I would share them with my teacher. And at the end, she said, Laurelyn, have you ever considered yoga teacher training? I laughed at her because, I'm not the IG yoga, you know, physical body. And I laughed and she said, why? Yoga has given you so much. Why wouldn't you want to give back to it? I was like, wow, that really landed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sat with that I probably took me about 3 months to get my emotional clarity on doing the teacher training, but hands down, one of the best things that I did for my own personal development and spiritual growth. Yeah. And of course, I'm a cacao facilitator. And then I also do sound healing ceremonies, which that's an interesting
Amazing.
story, how I got into that.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
So fast forward to 2024. I'm doing all this spiritual growth. I'm doing all this work on myself. I'm really coming in. This was after I jumped out of jumped without a parachute, which we could go
Yep.
back to if you want. And I decided that I was starting to get too comfortable in my life. I was living next to the ocean. I was enjoying my life tremendously. I was about to get a dog and I was like, oh my goodness, Laurelyn, you've gotten complacent. I had forgotten about all my dreams of traveling and visiting different cultures and experiences. So I decided to sell, donate, or gift all of my belongings except for what fit in a travel size carry on suitcase.
Wow.
Yeah, I traveled the globe for that year, that whole entire year. I did a
That's
nomadic lifestyle.
amazing.
Thanks. I was in London in April of 2024 exploring because in astrology, there's places that your soul aligns with that you can live.
Oh,
Astrocartography is what it's called. I was on a journey to go visit the places that my soul would have the best alignment to. And
amazing.
yeah, one of those places was London. And so I'm in London and I decide I'm going to go to the sound bath. I love sound baths. This was before I became a practitioner. I'm at the sound bath and this woman is drumming and she's singing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, she's like an angel. And here in the States, we don't hear as many people sing during sound baths. But
Yeah.
in Europe, it's very popular to do vocal
Okay.
toning. Uh, all of a sudden, I hear spirit say to me, you're going to take sound healing class. I was like, no, I'm not. Spirit was like, yeah, you are. I'm like, no. Then I'm like asking, I'm arguing with it, right? The spirit. I'm like, why? And it's like, oh, to get your voice to, really stand in your in your power, in your voice, reconnect you to your voice. I'm like, I'm a professional speaker. I wrote my memoir. Like, I feel like I have my voice. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Well, the woman who helped me navigate my way, a friend here in the States knew somebody in London who knew this person named Cherub, who, when Cherub was introduced to me to help me get settled in London. Okay. Turns
Yeah.
out she is a sound healer, and her partner, her famous partner, Tim Leader, they have a sound healing certification program there in London. And I'm like mind blown. So I leave the sound bath. I'm mad. I'm arguing with spirit. I'm cold now. I go get a cup of tea before I get back on the train. I happen to look up her website. Now, earlier that day, I was supposed to book my flight back to America for work.
Yeah.
I ran out of time and I didn't book it. Well, it wasn't that I ran out of time. It was because it wasn't time to book it.
Yep.
Right. So when I look on her website, the first in-person class was the following weekend.
That is divine timing.
Right? I'm telling you. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm in. It was like, and it was the same. My pushback was the same as if I had the yoga teacher training. So what I've learned is anytime ego wants to push back, it's because it's trying to keep me safe, but it is the exact thing that I should be doing.
If you're ready to start quieting the loud thoughts and connecting with your soul self, I have a free gift for you. My Home on the Other Side meditation is available right now at ChristinaAngelMessenger.com. It's my way of helping you begin your journey. The link is in the show notes. Yes, I've talked about the egoic mind that way too. It's trying to protect us. Really, there's something behind there. Recently, I don't know if you're familiar with archangels, but I had Archangel Jophiel come in the other day, and I do this worry ceremony with Archangel Michael to like release all my worries, my fears. And she came in the other day and she was like, why don't you take those worries, fears, and doubts and turn it into something positive? Turn it into what is the best case scenario if you were to allow that? Just turn it around. I never thought of it that way. She just is bringing this to you. It must be for the listeners because I'm a very overthinker. That is like part of my type. And they were like, no, stop overthinking it. Just turn it around, change the perspective. Like we were talking about before we hopped on the podcast. You change your lens from a bird's eye view or a butterfly view from the caterpillar's view of the ground.
Yes. Yes, I love it. I do something similar. I ask myself, when I hear the fear now, I journal about it. I'm a big fan. I know you're a big fan of journaling too.
Yes, I do love
I have to
automatic
share
writing.
that.
Yeah,
Julia Cameron and Artist Way got me hooked on journaling back in 2018, changed my life. Probably the best tool to change your
yeah,
life. For me, it was the best tool for me. And I encourage people, if you've ever dabbled with it, if you stick to it, Julia Cameron recommends 3 pages a day. And I've been doing it since 2018. I've not looked back, and
that's amazing.
it's very healing. But what I do is I do the same thing that you got. And I ask myself, when I hear the fear, I ask if it's true. So if I hear the fear, like you're going to be blah, 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 and I go, well, is that true? And then I reframe it. And what I recently learned from a healer in Mexico named Chloe was then to take those reframes that you and I are doing, and she makes
Yeah,
affirmations from her own. So instead of using somebody else's affirmations, she makes an affirmation from the reframe, puts it on a
beautiful.
post-it note, and hangs them up all over her house.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Not,
It's amazing how, there's similar threads throughout the healers, but they're very unique how everyone kind of displays them or talks about them.
yes. Yeah. I always tell people when I'm coaching clients, I always tell them, listen, I'm your guide. I'm going to offer you some tools, techniques, solutions. I'm going to ask you questions. you can take it and you can utilize it. You could tell me to go mind my own business. You could stick it in your back pocket. Like
Right.
you could toss it completely. You could toss it and then go back for it later. Like I'm not attached to it. What tools work for me might not work for somebody else, and what tools work for you. But the more we can share, the more we can know what tools are out there. I take bits and pieces of tools
Yeah.
that help me, what resonates with me, right? Again, not listening. If I feel like if I feel like if it's something like I hear like, oh, you need to work with that person because they have the missing link, then I know that's my ego because I don't
Mhm.
need anything, right? So if it's quiet and it's a nudge, then I know that's my intuition. And
Yes.
yeah. Do you agree?
And I do agree. I think what Spirit wants to take part of season 2 is really to help listeners kind of learn the difference between the ego and spirit, angels, guides. For me, my when I hear my angels or spirit, they're more here on the right ear
Oh,
compared to like my ego, which is more in the front, hearing wise, because I'm very clairaudient.
yeah.
I'll hear a lot, but they're not like different voices. They're still all my voice. They're just like at different frequencies.
I love that. I love that. For me, I feel like the ego is like the bully. It's loud. I was journaling one day to my higher self, or whatever words you're comfortable with. I was like, I need you to speak up so I can hear you more clear. The response back in my journal was, no, you need to get quiet so you can hear us. I was like, that's so true. But
It really is because our we have 60,000 thoughts a day and they're just on top of like society and the humanness of ourselves. It's harder to quiet down. I found for me through automatic writing is one of the ways for me to quiet down my brain. I just kind of listen to what I'm sensing.
yeah, I have a curious question. When you automatic write, do you write with your opposite hand?
I don't. Do
Oh,
you?
Uh, that's how I was taught. I don't do it that often because sometimes I write and I go back and I was like, what is that? I find journaling gets me to most places I need to be. Haven't fully played on with that, but I was just curious that, if you used your opposite hand when you were doing automatic writing.
I don't. I use my right. My right is my dominant. I do like this weird like cursive print mushiness, if that makes sense. Like only
Yeah.
I can read it. For people that don't know automatic writing, you just kind of write whatever you're sensing. You don't edit anything whatsoever. You just kind of write. And at the end, then you'll read it. And or sometimes I'll type it. Sometimes I'm at work during lunch and I just hear like, do some automatic writing and I don't have a pen or a paper. I'm start typing it on my phone. Uh, but you just kind of let that whatever information come through like peacefully. If something else comes through, like that's not from spirit, I always say if it's just a other thought, like or egoic mind, put it in a basket and send it down the river.
Mm. Oh, I love that.
It was one of the first visualizations I had in a meditation, which I don't always visualize in meditations. That's just not one of my stronger gifts. But that one stuck with me. Sometimes you just got to keep whatever comes through.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes like you keep it and then like sometimes I'll forget things and then in the right moment I'll be reminded of it, or like I might forget it and then I'm talking to a client and I'm like, "Oh, you know what might be good for you?" And then I'll pull out a tool that I haven't used in whatever amount of time. So I always trust that what I need to know comes to me in the moment that I need it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I always say whatever's meant to come out is going to come out.
Yeah.
Last season, I used to record with headphones, but I found that I couldn't hear them as well with the headphones in. So this season, I'm not recording with headphones on.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would love to ask you a few questions. We're going to kind of dabble
Sure.
throughout all your different gifts that you have because you just have
Okay.
so many. Love your energy. I hope all the listeners love it as well.
Me too. I feel like if they're tuned into this episode and they listen this far, then they're here for a reason, that what we're talking about is resonating with them, and it's the time for them to hear whatever might be shared,
Yeah.
and just open to knowing that the right people will be listening. I'm excited
Yes.
that they're here. So if you're listening, thank you.
Thank you. So in this season, I talk about kind of identifying the egoic mind voice versus our intuition spirit voice. Uh, kind of what does that look like for you? Like, how do you know your inner knowing or what you're listening from spirit? I know we just touched upon this, but I'd love to go a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah. For me, it's quiet. The inner knowing comes in when I am quiet. I hear the voice, but I don't hear a voice. It's like I'm having a conversation, but there's not like it's like
It's like your thoughts,
it's a
maybe?
message, but it's not an audible voice that I hear, but I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks for sharing that idea." Like, it's an
Oh,
idea that comes
interesting.
in, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. It usually a lot happens when I'm in the shower. I think that's common for a lot of people. I don't know what it is about the shower, but it's the water. I'm assuming that it's easier to move through the water. It happens mostly when I'm quiet, and also it happens in my body. Most of us have intuition, and we've been conditioned, because I know social conditioning is part of what you educate people about too. So a lot of it I have disconnected from my body because of my early childhood journey and things that I experienced along the way in my life. I disconnected from my body, so it was really hard for me to listen to my body cues. Like, you ever meet somebody and the hair on the back of your neck stands up? Like,
Yep.
your body knows before your brain can catch up to it. So, really, it's about honoring. For me, my newest challenges is honoring my body, listening to my body, and to reconnect with my body. And in simple form, like, I would not if I had to go to the bathroom, but I was working on an article and I didn't want to lose my creative jam, I would like
Yep.
wait until the last minute and then I'd be running to the bathroom. Then I realized like my body's mad. Like my body doesn't want to be treated like that, right? Like, and so I had to start out with baby steps of reconnecting with my body, just with the fact of, oh, my body's hungry. Oh, my body needs to use the restroom. My body, oh, that conversation that, ooh, that kind of twisted my stomach. Or how do I feel in people's presence? Because the body, for me, the body knows before
Yes.
my mind catches up to it. So really connecting. And I was so disconnected from my body at one point, Christina, that my allergies got my nervous system was on overdrive. All the
Mhm.
stimulation of nomad lifestyle, traveling from place to place, changing places every couple of days, changing what country I was in. It caught up
Yeah.
to my body, and my allergies to cat went from itchy eyes to then I started to break out in hives. Then towards the end of it, I had anaphylactic shock. I didn't know.
Wow.
Yeah. I walked around for a week before I sought medical help. I just chummed it up to because I was conditioned, suck it up, buttercup. You'll get over it. It's just this. When I went into the doctor's office and then they realized where I was, and all of a sudden, like people were coming in, they're stabbing me with things. Like I had no idea. That's when I realized, oh, Laura Lynn, you really got to work on the connection with your body. You really got to ground down. I've been so conditioned to just keep on keeping on, suck it up, buttercup, survival mode, that I disconnected from my body and it was sending me messages and that I had been ignoring. I literally had to say to myself, like, you almost choked yourself out. Like, it's time
Yeah.
to like pay attention. So for me, I believe that to get back to your question, my intuition comes through my body. It's also like this, it's like, I don't know if it's images. The funny story is I heard one day that I should bring an extra pair of shoes. I was going out, I was running late,
Yep.
and I heard I should bring an extra pair of shoes. I was like, I don't want to go back in the house to get an extra pair of shoes.
Yep.
So I left. I stopped at the gas station. I was walking in to pay or do whatever. My
Yep.
foot got stuck on a sticky spot and my heel broke. I had no
Oh,
extra pair of shoes. So now when I hear do this and I'm running out the door,
you go do it.
do it.
Or it's like you for me I have a story where I was coming home and it was like just a long day from work. All I heard was take the right, like don't go straight your normal way home. I was like, really, Spirit? Like, I just want to go home. They're like, no, take the right. I said, okay, okay, right. And as I was taking the right, not only did I avert an accident up ahead, but the song came on. The lyrics was a perfect message that I've been trying to ask Spirit to give me. And I was like, all right, Spirit, you made your point. I'll listen now.
Yeah. Yeah, you have enough of those, because that wasn't the shoe incident, wasn't the first time that spirit told me to do
Yes,
something
I
that I
know.
but it was the time that I was like, "Okay, now I'm gonna do it when spirit tells me to do something." I don't argue with I try. I do my I did
Yes.
just argue with it the other day. So I'm like,
We
"Oh, I
think
am."
we know best, but let me tell you, they know better.
Absolutely. Again, it's a caterpillar, like, even as evolved as we are, we're for me, I still feel like we're caterpillars no matter how spiritually elevated we are in
Yep,
this lifetime to our spirit guides and angels in the universe. Their view is so much they're above our views, no matter how spiritually
yeah,
awake or you know,
totally
or
agree.
educated you are. I feel like they know knowledge that we might not even know. It might not even be this lifetime. So it's yeah, so surrendering to that, and it's easy to
Surrendering
surrender.
is hard. Let me tell you, I don't do it all the time, but
Um,
when I do, I'm like, phew, I did it. Okay, I surrendered. When I don't, I'm like, "Ugh, I should have just surrendered."
yes, because it's easy, like they say, there's always that raft, the rapid when you're in those rapid waters, and they say when you fall out of the raft and you're in the waters to just don't fight the current, just flow with it and you'll go
Float.
downstream. When you fight it, you end up getting exhausted and you could possibly drown. So that's I use that kind of analogy to remind myself, "Oh, you're out of the raft and you're fighting." Like,
Oh, that's a good analogy.
right? Like if you're in the
That's a good
raft,
one.
you're just following
Just,
you're in the
just
flow,
float.
right? But if you happen to get a little sidetracked and you fall out of the raft, it's about getting back into the flow. It's about surrendering and just letting the current take you as opposed to, trying to fight it and then and I realize that anytime that I fight with my guides or inspiration or whatever that I'm
Yeah.
getting, it's always the harder way around. I try to surrender now.
Did your spirit team send you a sign or message this week? I want to hear about it. Submit it through the Soul Self template on my website for a chance to win a free private 15-minute session with me. One listener is chosen every month. Details are in the show notes. Don't miss your chance. Yeah, I've been hearing, don't worry about the how or when, just take what we're showing, guiding for you. Spirit has shown me, which I don't, like I said, I don't always see, but they showed me a tree, and you have the trunk and you have the roots, and the trunk is the divine path. All the branches are all the different detours that you take, but they're also attached to that trunk. God Universe Source sees and knows all your different possibilities, but you're always going to be aligned on that divine path.
I love that. That's a great analogy and great visual
Thanks.
too. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I came out of that meditation. I was like, "Oh, that was good, Spirit. I gotta write it down."
that. It is. Yes.
So I would love to talk a little bit more about human design because I just love it. I don't feel like it's a line for me to I'll know all about it, but I love to know like little tidbits about it. So can you give us like a small little like mini 101 about human design?
Sure. I'll do my best. Again, this is not my lane, career lane, but I've been studying it for 10 years, so I feel like I could give you a little synopsis of
Yeah.
it. If somebody might believe that we have created a soul contract before we come here to earth and we're up in heaven and or heaven or universe, whatever you want to call it, and we're working with our soul team and we're like, oh, I want to come to earth and I want to learn this lesson, this lesson, this lesson, right? You make agreements with other souls. Oh, I'm
Yep.
going to be your villain this time and I'm going to be your hero and I'm going to be your challenge, right? You make all these agreements. It's going to be fun. Uh, and then that's what creates So your date of birth, your time of birth, your location of birth is what's needed to run your human design report. Based upon the 6 different pseudosciences, there's numerology, there's astrology in there's Kabbalah. There's 6 of them. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but there are 6 different sciences that come together to create the methodology behind human design. The exact moment and the way that the stars and the planets were lined up is what creates your blueprint for life. We come into this world and we're not handed a manual on who we are and how to get through life. I feel like human design provided me that manual on myself to really understand and dive in. So, in essence, it's a blueprint of the contract that you agreed to before incarnation. Then there's, 5 different types. We talked about there's the generators, which is what I am. I'm the busy bee, which means that
Yep.
when I say yes to the right things, that I have a tremendous amount of workforce power that I can get things done. Huge manifester. I can manifest quickly when I say yes to the right scenarios. That's the
Right.
whole key. Then there's manifestors. These are the people who just go out and get things done. That's the motto. Just do it was made for manifestors.
Yes.
Not necessarily blanket statement for all human beings, because just do it doesn't work for all of the 5 human design types. Then there's yours, which is the manifesting generator, which we talked about briefly before.
Yes.
Then we have the projectors. Projectors, and I must say, generators and manifesting generators make up 73% of the population.
Right.
So just to give you a number. Then we have the projectors. The projectors usually find themselves in trouble because they often offer advice that when people don't ask for it, and then it's met with hostility. So yeah. So if you have somebody and they offer you advice, unsolicited advice, that projectors are here to direct us, but they have to be invited to do it. When they're not invited to do it, they're met with resistance. And then that creates bitterness for them. So how they know they're not on the right path is when they experience like a bitterness. And then the reflectors, oh my goodness, they are the hardest human design. They're also only 1% of the population. Michael Jackson was believed to be a reflector.
Wow.
Yes, very, very sensitive. They have to take 30 days before they make any decisions.
Wow.
I know. Can you imagine trying to live in our society being a
No.
reflector? I'd like to buy that home, but I need 30 days to think about it.
Like 3 days is a lot for me
It
because I
is
am
a
such a
lot.
people pleaser. I'm like, I gotta make this decision right now. My body's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. Yes, I will reiterate that for you, especially because you're a manifesting generator. You got to hear the sacral yes. You have to wait for your emotional clarity. People pleasing's overrated. I was a people pleaser. I tell people I'm a recovering people pleaser. So yeah, I'm really passionate about helping people pleasers not be people pleasers.
I am learning. Spirit is teaching me.
Yeah. So that's I guess that's it. Is that good for you? Is that a
Yes,
good
that's
explanation?
perfect because I
Okay.
want to touch upon your other things that you do.
Okay.
So yoga, I have to say, I'm not great at it. Don't do it as often as I want to, but there's something about it. Like you said, quiet your mind, which it totally does for me. When I first started yoga about 2020, when my anxiety was really off the rails, I couldn't hit like any of the positions. I was like, whatever, I'll just try to quiet this mind. Now 6 years later, I'm starting to get back into it. I took like a break and I was back into the normalcy. I've been doing it twice a week now. Just gentle, like strengthening yoga. Spirit has been saying like you just have to hit it for 5 seconds. Like you don't, if they say just hold it however you want, but it also like gives you a body scan, which I never thought of before in yoga. But this year they were like, think of it as a body scan. So if your shoulder is hurting today, let's focus on the shoulder or your knee, or you might not even notice that your knee or whatever is hurting. What's your take on yoga?
Oh my
'Cause
gosh.
I know you love it.
I do, and I can't wait to answer this question. But I
Yay!
want to make sure that I heard every word that you were saying before I jumped ahead. I want to listen to hear, not listen to respond, right? So
Yes.
what I love about this, first of all, for me, there's several different types of yoga, right? There's regular asana, which I refer to as like the IG pretzel poses.
Mhm.
That is not a good fit for me. What I fell in love with was restorative yoga. So I'm going to speak from restorative. I think all
Yes.
yoga is
Yeah.
great. Even if you just run through the sun salutations like 3 times, you have to, it's called yoga balance. So whatever you do to the right side of the body, you have to do to the left
Right.
side. So even if you did one sun salutation on both sides, that's amazing.
Okay. That's good
So,
to know. I'll add that
yeah.
into my morning routine.
Yeah. And to let you know, like, just to address some of the things that you said, and then I'll tell you about what I love about yoga. You don't need to do the pose right. Like, that's ego telling you that you need to
Okay.
do the pose right. We always say that yoga, keep your eyes on your own mat because that's your own practice. So we show up in class and we think that people are noticing us, but you know what? They might be looking at us, but that is not our problem. My practice is on my mat. So
Beautiful.
my practice is for me. As long as I do, and listening to the body is key about yoga, right? Because
Yeah.
that pain that you felt in your right arm or wherever you felt it, that's called an edge. So yoga invites you to embrace the edge. Like, okay, I'm feeling that pull in my lower back, right? It's a little uncomfortable. The idea is, can you focus on that and breathe into that space? Because when we experience pain, sometimes it's trapped energy that needs to be released, whether it's an
Yeah.
emotion, right? It's something that needs to exit the body. We're not designed to hold all these emotions. We're designed to have the experience and let us move through us, like from the root out through the crown chakra is how we're designed to. But as humans, we've been taught to hold on to it, stuff it down. So when we feel that edge in yoga, that release, just by focusing on our breath and paying attention to that area and saying, okay, I'm curious. What are you trying to show me? What do I
Right.
need to learn? Like you said, it's a body scan, right? Knowing not
Yeah.
to push, when to push, knowing when not to push past your edge, because that's ego involved. Like, oh, everybody else is holding the pose for 5 minutes. I have to hold the pose. No, if your body says I'm done in 2 minutes, you're done. Take child pose, do a cat cow, like listen. What I was taught in my teacher training was no matter who's at the front of the room or what the teacher's saying, you always listen to the body.
Yeah.
Always listen to the body. The body will tell you. For me, restorative yoga, oh my goodness, I'll never forget. I was in my restorative class and I was doing this pose. And it was such a deep connection to divine for me. I was being supported by the props in yoga. So in restorative yoga, they use lots of props. You're holding the pose for 5 minutes, but it's a restorative pose. So most of them are on the floor.
Okay.
And you're using props and pillows and blankets. And the whole idea is to support the body so it feels supported in these poses. And you hold them for longer periods of time so that it can release the trapped energy that's in them. As women,
Oh.
we hold a lot in our hips,
Yeah.
right? So we hold these poses so that it has opportunity to be released because that's a denser area of the body is the hips to get that out, right? The root chakra, think about it. All emotions come up through the root first, right? That's why
Right.
most people have the most blocks are in their first 3 chakras from the root, right? So it's all about letting the body feel supported. I remember being in this pose where we were on our sides and I had a pillow for my arm and I had a pillow and my knee was bent and on a pillow. I just remember being in this deep meditative state and I felt like I was dancing with divine. I started to cry. Yeah,
That sounds amazing.
it's gonna make me cry right now. Yeah, it was the first time that I felt that I know that I'm supported, right? Where spirit always I'm always being told you're never alone, spirit. Your soul team, the same people that were up there when you create your blueprint
Yep.
are with you. You're never alone. They're always here. In that moment, I actually understood what that meant. I felt the support of the divine, and it was a beautiful, intimate dance and feeling completely supported. I was like, okay, this is what yoga is about. Yoga
That
might be
sounds
on.
amazing.
Thank you. Yoga, we always think of yoga as just on the mat, but yoga is not just on the mat. The mat's the training. Yoga is in every
Yeah.
day. Yoga
Right.
is in everyday life. The person that cut you off in the car, the person that was nasty to you in line, like that's when they always say yoga is right now. Oh, look, we missed it. Yoga's right now. Wait, you missed it again. It's right now. So while we think of it, yoga isn't just the physical practice. There are 8 limbs to yoga. So there's the physical practice, there's the mental practice, there's the devotion. Like there are different limbs that people could explore in yoga. It's not just the asana that we see. There's so many different levels to it.
That's amazing. So right now I'm doing gentle and strengthening yin yoga.
Yes.
Uh, the restorative sounds really nice. I think that might be my next one to go to.
Yeah,
I'm
try
trying to
try
figure
it
out
out.
what I'm liking and what I'm not. Because I
And
tried the vinyasa and I'm just like it's a little too fast paced for me. So I'm trying to find the middle ground.
yes, and yin and yang is the masculine and the feminine. In yoga there is more like hatha is more masculine, right? So there's a masculine and feminine energy to yoga as well, depending upon what practice you're doing. So maybe one day you need to be more in your masculinity, so you go to embrace that, right? And maybe some days you need to be more connected to the feminine, so you go to a restorative class. So it all depends upon like what mood am I in, where my sweet spot, because I needed to reconnect with my body, was restorative because it allowed me to start that relationship and trust, knowing that feeling the divine that I am supported. So that has started to help reconnect my body back together with my body and my
Beautiful.
spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Lorilyn, I wish I had more time with you. I feel like we could talk for another hour.
Oh, we definitely can talk for another hour. I know that
For,
hands down.
for sure. So I always have the guests just kind of close us out. So what do you want listeners to walk away with from this conversation?
Hmm. What do I want my listeners to walk away from this conversation with?
And you can take a moment to tap in if you want. Maybe there's
Yeah.
something you want or spirit wants.
I really feel that I want the listeners to experience the calmness of connecting with their inner guidance, their authentic selves. I really want them to learn how to listen to that as opposed to the bully ego, and then to stand in their truth confidently. Because when we connect to our higher source, to our self, to our inner knowing, it's an inner knowing. There's no denying it, right?
Yeah.
And I find that, especially as a communication expert, I find that when we speak our truth, it doesn't matter whether you know my methodology or not, but when we speak from a place of our truth and our knowing, yeah, you can't argue with it. The other person can't argue with it.
Right.
Yeah. So them to be connected to, reconnected, because I tell people all the time, I don't feel like we're lost. I don't feel like we need to find ourselves. I feel that we need to, my word for this year is remember. I need to remember who I am, remember all the possibilities that I don't know, like remember, just insert remember wherever. That's my year, and
Yeah.
it's about reconnecting to our voice, because when we're born, we know our voice.
Yeah.
Then conditioning, right? Societal conditioning,
Yeah.
schooling, education, well meaning parents, and we get disconnected from it. Remembering who you are, connecting with your inner knowing, and speaking your truth is what I would love for listeners to hear today.
That's beautiful. Well, friends, I hope you were listening to the whole conversation. I know we kind of beep bopped, felt spirit all around and wanted us to talk about a lot of different things today. Laurelyn, where can they find you and any of your work?
Okay. So let's see, for if you're interested in my chat communication system, which is I teach people how to identify the different communication styles so they can meet people where they are. It is what helped me strengthen my own inner voice and gave me the tools to speak my truth in a way that is very confident. Now I stand on stages and do all the things. That would be thechatsystem.com. So that's that website. If you're looking for any of like my retreats, the sound healing, any of those kinds of things, uh, that would be my website, which is Lorilyn B. Alden. So Lorilyn B. Alden is the website. And then I am the author of Manaholic.
Oh, that's right. We didn't get to that part. I'm
No, we
sorry.
didn't, but it's okay. I'm author of Manaholic. So if you go to manaholic.com, you can check out my book. It's available anywhere in the world. So yeah, those are the ways that we could say, oh, I'm on Substack. That's more my Lorilyn. My woo-woo talk is on Substack, and more of my corporate talk is on LinkedIn. So those are the ways that they can hang out with me.
That's awesome. Can you give us a little snippet of the Manaholic? Because we didn't get to that.
Oh my goodness. So the snippet of Manaholic is that I've been groomed from the womb to believe that I needed a man in order to survive. And all the bad life choices that I made from that belief and how it landed me in some pretty dark places. And then what I did to overcome those generational patterns to step into the world, into my
Yeah.
truth that led me around the world to travel for a year and take my power back. I now can tell you honestly, Christina, I know that I don't need anybody besides myself and my higher guidance to create the life
Yeah.
that I want. And that is such a freedom in that. There's such a freedom.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
That is beautiful, Lorilyn.
thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Your energy is just so wonderful, so yummy, high
Thank
vibrational. I love it.
Thank you, Christina. You're a fabulous host, and I love the work that you're doing. I appreciate everything that you're doing to serve in this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lovely souls, have a great, beautiful, blessed day. We'll see you next time. Quieter voice, your intuition, your angels, your soul self. It's always there. Keep doing inner work to find it. Today's episode resonated, and hit follow or subscribe so we can keep crossing the bridge together. I'll see you next time.